All right, man. We back in the building. You back in the country.
Yeah.
And
What's good, D?
man, it's like it's a media blitz outside. Everybody is moving and shaking right now.
Yeah, nah, New York City's always on fire, man. It's good to be back in the city, though. It's good to be back in the town in the Big Apple.
Yeah,
You know?
I agree. It's always a good vibe once you pull up and set your goals to what you want to get done. You know, especially in recording and producing. And if you don't know, he's Demetrius Behind the Lens. I'm the DWI New York's most influential producer. And we 23 years later, collectively create.
We are now vibing to the sounds of DWI. This man wears so many hats, man. You don't even know.
Outside of that, like I'm a triple threat producer. I engineer, I produce, and I record radio. So it's not many engineers right now that has that lane where they can make the beat for you, then record the beat for you, then put it on radio. So I'm like the 1, 2, 3.
One-stop shop.
Yeah, straight get it done and get it out.
So y'all gotta send in your stuff.
Yeah, shout out to my man Dynasty in the back here, because he makes sure he takes care of all of the submissions. He's sitting behind me. My man Brown Water over here, Mike the moderator's in the building. He's also part of the team. So we have everybody from anybody to nobody to somebody. I'll put it to you like that, and you fill in the blanks.
Definitely. At the same time, they do the station here, so this place is gonna be monumental. I really feel the vibe and energy, and I love recording here.
It's a blessing to be here and to still be active in a game that we pretty much came up in through technology, through cell phones not being cell phones without cameras on it. Mm-hmm. Cameras not having tapes.
Yeah.
Or now having tapes back then and now not having tapes.
Yep.
Man, the system has just been updating and upgrading and
Yeah, we got servers, we got, you know what I'm saying, everything's been uploaded to clouds, and, you know, it's a good time, though, right now to do what we've been doing. It's a good time. I mean, we started from the beginning where you get to appreciate it from the tape era and transferring things from Firewire over to digital and spending time dumping stuff in real time. And so now we watch the progression and the ease and the technology and software, working together to be able to put content out faster, to edit faster, and now with AI, we're being able to use assistance from artificial intelligence to help come in and help with certain things.
How do you feel about AI? You enjoying it so far?
Yeah, I like AI. I mean, it's helped with my workflow in terms of like chat AI and writing certain things and then taking that stuff and then editing it again based on what they gave me and making it tailor-made to how I want to sound.
What about visually? What about like you doing a video, you edit it, and then now you putting it into a machine so it could chop it up and give you the good.
That's helpful. It just breaks down the time. I mean, I haven't really used that feature yet, but I did dab around with the Photoshop, the AI with the Photoshop with it, where you could just type in, a certain keyword, and it will change the background for you and do all the editing.
Oh, that's dope.
That's all right. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta get into that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's been a good, from my perspective, watching the progression of the technology and the enhancements and the achievements of what you came from and what we used to sit around in the back late nights and talk about. I gotta dump this tape because I got this going on. After I dump that tape, I gotta edit it, and then I gotta put it out. And then YouTube came out, and it was like, oh, this is a new platform where we're gonna put some videos on. Like everything was just so like raw, and now it's just like that's the business. The business is I gotta get my stuff on YouTube as fast as I can.
Yeah. I mean, I just enjoyed watching the process. I can appreciate what I do now so much more just from being able to go through the steps and take those same ideas that we had and now be able to do them faster, more efficient, at high resolutions. And you get so much more flexibility with that. And there's so many other things. Like, look at these things we got on. Just these labs, it's just, it's so simple now how they designed them and the case
before we had to have labs, we had to put the wire clip on our back.
And I mean, they still have, labs that do really well. But I just think that the ability to plug it into your mobile device and then set it up, and tube lights now are the thing with light and easy workflow, light workflow. You can go anywhere. Like right now, we're sitting in Harlem in this beautiful brownstone, one of the newer background sets I think we'll be using for my show and your shows, Creative Vibe Podcast and everything you got going on.
Yes,
so this is beautiful.
The next generation of DSN, I'm calling it. It's just the next generation, next gen DSN.
Yeah, man, this is dope. And the wood panels here, and so this is a
you've
good
always
space.
You've always used to stress to me about high quality and like just a better profile of things that we do, so that we can demand that. What was a word you used to always use? It escapes me now. But just making sure that we do our best with what we had, so that, and with location, lighting, camera settings, at whatever level grade that we had, so that it can produce some of the things that we're able to do now. I look back at the interview you did with KRS-One. Well, me, you, and Bedtime, you recorded it, and just how crisp and clean that camera was back then in 2009. It's like I could still watch that interview.
KRS, anything you want to say?
I want to rock
right
this
now.
Beat.
Nah, I'm gonna bring it back later. Unless you want.
Hey, we don't gotta wait. We done changed up the
can,
format for KRS tonight. You know I usually come in playing music.
You gotta overstand when I come in the spot. People overstand. This is real hip hop.
Yeah, I enjoyed that process. I mean, being in the studio at that age, 21, and just being in this, watch Bedtime there doing his thing with his, turntables and his voice, and then you sitting there sort of like the engineer, and then me there behind the camera. It just felt real cool. And then knowing who KRS-One was, and this is like, what we're talking about 15 years ago almost, him coming in there and being shocked at what we were doing, the live web streams, the stick cam web chat coming in with different people with webcam channels in the chat room. Pretty much everything that was going on now we were doing then, but it was so raw. To be 21 and to be in the building with KRS-One was.
And then think about the people that sat in those seats. Like before him was J. Cole. Years before him was Nipsey Hussle sitting in the corner with SNS and
Ty Boogie and everybody.
Like,
Or you had Duke the God, and Fred,
Duke the God,
Fred the Godson coming through. We had freaking Tone Trump.
Shout out to Tone Trump. Tone Trump always shows me love.
Yeah, shout out to the homie Tone Trump.
We had,
everybody from Drag On to, just so many people coming through.
battle rappers, good.
Yeah, Kool Herc, father hip hop.
Yeah. Shout out to Kool Herc. We got some dope.
Yeah, Grandmaster Caz, Lord Finesse. Big shout out to Lord Finesse. Was out just out in London with him.
AG, we can't forget Showbiz. AG.
Yeah, Showbiz and AG.
Man, Remy Ma, Lady Luck.
Yeah, you had Mano back in the day.
Classic battle with Lady Luck versus Reese Stills, where they was about to fight. My man DJ Famous and Mike Sonam was in the back. Man, it's so many classic memories that's gonna be told about that era that really comes from us. Like it really came.
Yeah. Well, because there wasn't too many people thinking about it yet. Everything was either FM, and then the whole internet, radio thing, and satellite radio was kind of a thing. Right. And then, as these platforms started to become...
Shout out to DJ K Slay, my man, DJ Radio, too.
Rest in peace. As these platforms started to get stronger and become more prominent and bring more features into play, that eventually took what we were doing and just gave it more validity and more. It just became more of a thing that people had to get into because now everybody can get in the game and monetize and make some money, and if they create some content. Look at all the NBA guys. They all, like, so many of them have, podcasts now.
They have platforms now.
Wasn't thinking about that before in the early 2000s.
It wasn't. But their career, took them to where it took them to, and then they got the validity. They got the following. They got the social media going. So
the good thing is, if you've already built the following off music, all you have to do is have a podcast. Right. Talk to other people that have that following. Those people are going to now say, oh, he's got a podcast, and they're going to come check you out. And look at Cam and look at May. Shout out to them.
Shout out to them. Shout out to It Is What It Is. Stat Baby, I think her name is. I got to stop forgetting about her because she makes the show.
Yeah, she balances it out.
She balances it out. I love that. So the different athletes, the comedians, the
wrestlers, the WWE world. Yeah, it's hot.
I had spent a time where I was like trying to compare myself, and it was like where you don't compare, you don't compete, or something. It's the saying like that. And I was like, why would people like us try to compare to the millions of followers that they got or for them doing something totally different when we got the people that we got, or for doing exactly what we're doing, and now they are able to reap the benefits of it as well. So,
YouTube man himself, I call him Mr. YouTube.
Man, high in the building.
Mr. Toma. World man liaisons in the building.
Yo, son, get my face, son. Get on my face, son.
Smack high for the kid to put the smack in smack. I'm here, chilling in the Matrix studio. We about to get it in, you know what I mean? We're gonna come back, put some crack down. It's in Matrix studio, you already know. Neo, Matrix studio.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's like anybody who starts anything, right? But now we have enough receipts, we have enough things that's put in to just kind of keep going and keep doing, and just keep basically emphasizing on what we did and keep going forward with new things that we're doing, which we've been doing, and that's pretty much it.
Welcome for your job for what we did. You're welcome. You guys are all welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
So they just introduced us.
Shout out to Combat Jack, rest in peace, you know what I'm saying?
So
DWI, you know what I'm saying?
It's just, it's been a fun ride doing it, and you know, to me, it's just about continuing to keep doing stuff and keep letting people know what we did, because they should know, but also just keep adding new stuff to the resume.
And the irony in that is sometimes you feel like, oh, why, you know, I don't want to talk about something new. I don't want to talk about the things that we've done, but there's a whole generation. I teach middle school. Yeah. They don't even know who Jay-Z, like under Jay-Z, or whatever rappers came out, barely Nas, like, and they're like 12 and 13 and 14. Mm-hmm. So forget about them knowing anything else about the growth of podcasting, where it all came from. So me going into the school system now and teaching it, it's like, oh, the connection is there. My teacher was the guy that helped start this all off. So now the next generation will know.
Yeah.
So
well, the good thing about the internet, things live on forever. Yeah. So whether people know it or not, they're painting their legacies for 200, 300 years from now, when people are going to go on the internet and look for it. The kids are going to look for people from back then. Right. And they're going to see, well, let's check, cause before, just the way we go back in history books and look at George Washington or Malcolm X, they're going to go back in there and look at photographers and people, rappers and this and that from 2023, 200 years from now. And guess what? Everything you've done on your Instagram, your website, and all the metadata that comes from that is going to be spread all across that.
Facebook.
So, yeah,
Facebook got my whole life. Like, I could just go pick a year and a day, and then it'll do a quote that I post that day, because I used to be posting every day on my Facebook.
So your great-grandkids will be able to...
They can see exactly how I was thinking. And it's interesting for me to see back, and I'll be like, yo, I'm still... Like I still understood what I was saying. Could you imagine being a loose goose? And all
What's
over
the first
place?
time in history that people will be able to go back and see their grandparents in high 4K video? Right. And... Not some riggedy... half burnt up looking portrait with half the face. Or just, you know, something that's just very short and very like blurry. Like they'll have full resolution of what you sounded like, what you did. And you don't have to be rich to be that. You could be the lowest part of the poverty. Yeah, because now everybody has the tools, the same tools. So, but a lot of people are also going to make themselves embarrassed because they're doing a lot of stupid cuckoo shit for for money clicks, and for clicks. Like, you know, like one thing I see all the time is the workout videos with some of the women. And then it's like all the pea prints and all that stuff down. Oh, there's a new competition now. It's the twerkers versus the Spanish ladies doing bachata. But my thing is like, all right, it's cool for clicks and it might get you some coins online. It might get you some views and or whatever. It's going to generate. It definitely will, okay? That will. But at the end of the day, 200 years from now, is that what you want your... Like, if that's what you like, if you're into adult entertainment, and that's cool. But I got an analogy. So me and you may go and look for, you may go look for a Johnny Nunez type picture, or you in a picture with Nas, the Post, and you feel like that's your asset, that's your work, that's your value. Yeah. Some women, that's what they got going on. They worked out, or they paid for their body. And that's what they got to show. And they know they're going to get the attention that they're going to get because it's a fact that it happens all day. And it's unfortunately that's a bunch of horn dog dudes out here that likes going to watch. And I'd be a fool to say I don't see it. But well, I think people are entitled to put out whatever they want and want to do. But I just think that is that what you really want to do? is that what you want? If you want to be an adult entertainer or something like that, and that's what you've decided for whatever reasons, and it's legitimate to do that, then go and do that. But it's just weird because it's like, if this is just a trend, if this is temporary to get, a couple of this or that or whatever, like, is that worth your reputation? Do you want your great grandkids to see you online and see your pee print all over the place? I don't know. I just don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, but at the same time,
it's so many women with kids that are doing it to the point is like.
I find it strange. I find it really crazy. That it's like, whoa, like this is like.
Because you have a daughter, you have daughters, so.
Well, don't you work somewhere? You're an employer to go online and just see.
I don't think so. I think
know.
the internet is their job now. They got.
Well, doing that you're gonna get. Doing that you're gonna get a whole bunch of stuff. But
the OnlyFans, they can just show their feet and they make hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Well, I think the internet.
There's guys that there's a business, there's a market for it.
Yeah, there's a market for everything. I think the internet is making a lot of good. There's a lot of great platforms like Etsy and Airbnb and everything like that gives like people who have worked and saved money an opportunity, like Uber, like to make more income. I think there's things like OnlyFans and things like that are a bit weird to an extent because you're kind of being told to like whore yourself out on the internet for coins, but will the money add up to the reputation? I don't know. Like that, you have to decide if you want to sell yourself off like that. So, but it's a weird world we're living in now. I think that we're going to see the effects of social media and these platforms in both very extreme ways down the line.
So do you want to? I'd be willing to do a project with you, and we could just start documenting this every day, and we could maybe ask some real hard questions to some of the women, like to figure out what they're actually thinking about. Because I think the same way you think. I'm like, I see it, and then but I think beyond the sex appeal of it is like, all right, you're doing this now.
Hold on, you blocking me right there.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
It's all right. We were on uncut. I'm sneezing. Whatever. We doing cool conversations right now. Yeah. Look, people are entitled to do what they want to do. I just remember that what you do on the internet, you think is cool and popping now. Just remember that if it's not legitimate, I don't know, if it's not you, and you putting it out there, just know that 200 years from now, your great grandkids are gonna be looking like that.
He's already in year 200.
But as a photographer, I think of 5-10 years from now when I take a picture. I don't think about the picture. I think about getting the shot for now, but for 10 years from now. So when you look back, you're like, wow, I remember that. Mm-hmm. Oh, wow, that was the moment we did. Because you're not going to appreciate it in the moment.
Right.
But I'm already appreciating it for you 5-10 years from now. Because you're going to be like, damn, that was a nice picture. Not only was that a nice picture, but that was a nice picture. And that was a moment that I remember because everybody's getting older.
Right.
So it's going to have sentimental value. So I'm always in the future.
Speaking of sentimental value, what was one of your most memorable moments up to date that you can?
I got a whole bunch, man.
I know. That's why I just want to go with one of your most memorable. It could be recent. It can be a little further back. Just something that you was proud of that.
Recently, man. I just want to. I was really, really excited and proud to be a part of the Nas and Wu-Tang New York State of Mind tour. And being able to be out there in London with Nas and Wu-Tang's first time performing together at the O2 in London. So to be the only photographer that had like full access, big shout out to my guy Supreme and Raekwon and everybody that, I ran into that, got me in and allowed me to have that access. That was ill to be out there and watch Nas perform, be there backstage with, some of the Top Boy guys from Top Boy. And some of the other actors from England, and then just be back there with Ghostface and RZA and do a couple drops, and that was epic. Shoot Nas as well, and so that was cool. And then just being published in a hardcover book with TV producer Paul Wharton, that was pretty cool. So shout out to him and putting a lot of our images in his cocktail book that he has. That's dope. Patti LaBelle on the cover, with her quotes, and Vanessa Williams. So when I mention a company like that, man, I think I've come a long way, and I just enjoy being able to make history with other dope artists and historians out there doing their thing. So those were some of the things. But there's so many that we've done across the years, and what I love about what we've done is that no matter if we're getting roses for it, no matter if who's popping now on this or that, is giving us whatever I don't expect that. What I know is that I have a ground to stand on because we've contributed to hip hop, we've contributed to the community, we've contributed to something. We didn't just take from it.
Right.
And we set a foundation for a lot of different people back in the day. And we gave businesses in that area of celebrity
and we did
appearances.
We did a lot for less. So, like, we really thugged it out and gave a lot of people some good looks, some good videos, some good content.
So as long as we keep creating and keep having conversations, keep producing stuff, and keep making it look nice, you know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, look, man, the receipts are there. We just keep putting stuff out, and our time to be celebrated will come when it's necessary.
Right. I agree.
But people know what we've done, and I think that we just keep doing stuff. It's to me, I'm glad. My confidence comes from the fact that I didn't just take from the industry. I've given to the industry, and we know we've done that. So that gives you a platform to stand on in itself. No one can take that away.
Yeah, I think with that being said, and we've had several conversations about the progression of DWI. I guess I could say one of my greatest productions outside of my son is, producing a network like The Matrix Studios and not being selfish about it, because I could have definitely just been a producer with my own name, which I had, and just named everything behind me and was like, this is mine, y'all all follow me. And it probably would have took me a lot further, because that's the type of, that's the energy that the industry enjoys, the braggadocious, it's me, I'm Puff Daddy, I'm Jay-Z, I'm Nas, and it's not a negative thing, but that's just how they are. I feel that way, but I feel that way about the things that I'm connected to. So when people tell me that, oh, you did your thing, or I'm talking to you, or K Boogie.
Well, how many people know the owner of Nike? Who knows the owner of Canon?
Right.
But those people know that they're doing what they're doing, and they creating jobs and creating, technology for people. The scientists in there studying camera technology. Nobody gives a shit about them. But these are people that are contributing.
Our guy K Boogie, I was talking the other day, and I was giving him his flowers, because he's working on a lot of films now with BET. Every time a movie comes out, like, he's got audio credit on it for editing. And I sat there and watched him put together this whole audio, montage, and I'm like, oh, that's dope. Like, I enjoy that, and I thought I was giving him flowers, and he was like, well, D, like 95% of what I'm doing is, predicated on coming through you and working with you first. I don't think about it like that. I know that we all work together and we all did some things, but you never know how you really influence people until, like, they start to tell you. So I have this thing now where I've heard it enough from the people that it mattered from. So now I'm like, all right, so now we did a bunch of dope stuff, and we all of y'all, you, Hector, K Boogie, Mike Moderator, Mike Barber, Spinfall, everybody that I came up with, the battle rappers like Rocky Thunder. There's a lot of people that's just doing some real dope stuff right now. And I'm like, yo, we set the tone, and we can keep it going. Like, we're a network. We know what's gonna happen when you do something and that book comes out and everybody starts talking about, oh, that's my man DY. We know that's gonna happen. We shouldn't feel no way about it. Something can happen with me and it'll go viral, and then they'll be like, yeah, it's DWI. That's just the way that people's brains work.
We're there already. We've already put in the work. We just gotta
just understand that that's just like we understand what the girls are doing while they're twerking. They know what they're doing. They don't care about the 200 years later. They worry about it right now. We need to do the same thing, because we did 23, about to be 25 years of the Matrix.
Well, like Nipsey said, it's a marathon, right? So you keep running, and
we got kids to pass it down to.
Yeah, well, that stuff. Hey, listen, it might something we do might take off to a level beyond our wildest dreams when we're gone. The point is, I'm having fun creating, connecting with dope people at a high level, working on stuff, producing books, producing TV shows, producing podcasts, doing my own work, working with other artists, other brands, giving my creative direction and ideas for certain things. I just enjoy it. And at the end of the day, I'm gonna have moments where I'm celebrated. You're gonna have moments where you celebrate. There's gonna be moments where maybe you throw a hot picture out there and it gets no traction or nothing like that, or you put something out and it doesn't. But you just keep going. The good thing is it's always gonna be on the internet. So.
It's a whole big world.
Little DJ might be 35 years old, and something that you did sparked something up, and they're like, well, that was, and he benefits from it. So, it's legacy shit. I'm just trying to leave a legacy.
Yeah, that's the key word. That's where we at right now. We're no longer worrying about being legendary. We're worrying about building a legacy.
Yeah, just keep the legacy going. Just keep, word, y'all doing this? Yep, oh yeah, we putting this out. We talking like this.
Nobody's never surprised, though. That's the funny thing. Nobody's never surprised when y'all always was doing this. Or y'all always was. So it's not like some people will come say, "You still doing the radio show?" And for now, it's easy for them to say that because I haven't had a consistent studio where everybody's running in and out of until now. Now we'll be back on 42.
But
Broadway.
yeah, but even if you are, so what? Like, I mean, I just believe that
Everybody could take a couple of steps back to go forward.
I wouldn't even call it a step back, D, for you. Like, I mean, everything I've done has been a step forward. I think everything you've done has just been a contributing hand to the culture. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people throw this word around. That's the other thing I want to talk about today. I think we could close on this. Is this word culture? Right. I hear all these artists, rappers talking about culture, but is there really culture in hip hop? I don't really think so right now. Everybody sound like everybody using the same name, everybody following the same blueprint that the corporations and the people that own the culture, right? That was given from the people who say that they're talking about the culture. They running and they're doing that. You know what I'm saying?
And I got something to further on that because now that I have
where's
this
the culture?
information, our culture, our hip hop culture comes from Kool Herc, which he was from Jamaica, so he intertwined in some of the Caribbean into it. Yeah. A lot of the breakdancing moves and all that came from, guess what? Kung Fu movies. If you put it side to side and watch some of the movies they was doing, the spinning around and all that, that's where the breakdance, and they said that the breakdancers from those times said they was influenced by watching those Saturday morning movie theater.
Also, it's very spiritual too because
and
when those
calypso
because them break beats and them drums, like if you look at like indigenous villages in Africa, like it was spiritual.
Right. So
it was
when we talking culture, we can't just think that it's just a black thing when we all get it from everywhere. Now, what we can say is we in New York City.
Well, it's not even a black or white thing for me. It's more like culture when you say, okay, hip-hop culture is graffiti art or art. It's evolved to photography and video shooting, all this other stuff. Then you have the beats and the break dances and then now you got fashion as well. People like, Dapper Dan, things like that, Element, what Kanye did with influence in fashion and music.
April Walker.
Like that's culture. But, we don't, within the culture, on the lower tiers of the culture, the B-class artists and communities, I see a lot of like non-cultural support, non-cultural respect there. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of egotism and a lot of like, well, this and that. And I've experienced that in my career, meeting certain people. And I get it. You're not going to meet people that are always on the right happy time. But when we talk about culture, are we exploiting, this person? Or are we doing this or that? Right. Or are we actually like, yo, this is my video guy. I'm going to shout him out and help him out. And this is my producer. Like sometimes, people get left in the shadows, people taking stuff and trying to use it and not give you no credit. Or a lot of people are doing podcasts, but then no one wants to interview the person who influenced a lot of it. Right. Like, why not? Why? Because you're doing good on yours, so you don't really want to show that there was somebody.
Especially if you've been a guest on a bunch of hours.
Yeah, well, I feel like with the Matrix Studios, I say all that to say that like what you did, DWI, as a producer and creating this studio and putting that as the forefront, you created a culture. There would be days where even maybe sometimes the views weren't that lit in the studio, but the vibe in the studio was dope. And the culture was nice, and it made the artists feel like there was a synergy there, and we were recording it, so we knew that, hey, even if the views aren't that crazy right now on this, we still on FM or whatever, and then we recording it for YouTube, so we could throw it out there later, and people could still see the vibe, and that's culture, creating a place for business, commerce, but also support. And I feel like the industry is not really like that. It's not really no culture, but they keep saying for the culture. Like,
and they're quick to blame another race of people and say, yo, they culture vulture and they stealing. Nah, you culture vulture and you're in the culture vulture.
Well, you can only cooperate with vultures if they looking to come take something. If you got to give it to them, you can't. If you withdraw, then. You know what I'm saying? But that's a really deep story anyway. That's been throughout history.
And we'll go deeper into it. Obviously, this is us really taking time out of our day. We worked all day today, and then we came in. We set up the set at this beautiful brownstone that we have full access to now. And rest in peace to my aunt too.
Rest in peace.
Yanni's soul. She has a poem book out that. Man, I really wanted her to do the audio book with me before she passed, but cancer moved a little bit faster than I needed it, than I wanted it to. But we still have the books, and I'm gonna do something great with that. Maybe I'll have the grandkids or somebody narrate.
Yeah, well, this is gonna be a cool space for just different stuff. We might even do some freestyles or something in here, or you know, it's nice. So, you know, and I like nice things. So it's,
Yeah.
You know, it's nice African art here, Egyptian,
This is
original
culture.
hieroglyphs.
This is
So,
culture.
yeah, it's culture. And we are the contributors to the culture of hip hop. So if anybody has a problem with that, they can come DM me and let me know how much you've contributed to the culture.